Hello and welcome to the Rose Rehash. That's right, every Tuesday night after the Bachelorette, we go through the major theme of the show. We give out some superlatives, and then we have the Batchies, our awards, where I give out roses and divorce papers to my favorite and least favorite people of the episode. Let's start by saying, listen, all you got to do if you're enjoying the show, like, comment, let me know if you agree, disagree, subscribe, get subscribed to my channel. I don't just do Bachelorette stuff. I'm going to be putting stand up here. I got my dates coming up. I'm going to be in Syracuse. I'm going to be in Phoenix. I'm going to be in St. Louis. And we're doing a live podcast show in New York City. So anyone that you want to come to, if you want to come to any of those shows, jaredfreid.com for tickets, jaredfreid.com for tickets. Okay, let's get to tonight's big theme. So tonight's big story is separation. I think tonight's episode was a ho hum episode of the Bachelorette. It had had some fun with the Vikings, had some wholesomeness with the high school date. You had the meeting the friends element, and then you had a little bit of drama at the end, but not really because here's the thing: tonight's big story is separation. The right now it's a competition between five men. Everyone else is done. It's over. It's not going to happen for them. And I'm being generous with five. Right now, I have a top two, Joe and Nate. And I'm not saying anything that's original or smart. You know that too. You know, I know, we all know, Michelle knows. It's Joe and Nate, then it's Brandon and Rick, and then Clayton somehow is making some sort of push right now. And we already know Clayton's the next Bachelor, so we know he's not winning, but we also have to assume that Clayton makes some sort of big jump in the next few episodes. But I would say what they're setting up right now is this Nate, kind of bad boy. We're not sure if he's too cocky or if he's Michelle's type, but she's into him, versus Joe, the hometown kid, the one that connects on every single level. You can kind of feel that happening. And it's on The Bachelorette, especially, where I wish this was played with a little bit more. Like at this point, Michelle should just, and I wish they didn't keep people on that you know weren't going to win. Like Martin, Rodney, it's time to go. I understand we lost Leroy and we lost, if I'm looking, we lost Leroy and Casey, and we're down to 8 men anyways. So I just named 5 of these 8 men. So I just wish get rid of everybody. Let's get rid of everybody. We know, and let's make the show actually entertaining, because we go into these episodes where it's like, okay, like the fact that we even had to deal with Chris S tonight, it was like, okay, we know he's not a factor here. And maybe he doesn't, and we get to watch Chris S act delusional, because he did look delusional tonight. But why not cut it to 4 right now? Then let's have some real games on this show. Let's bring on an ex and talk to them about each of these guys. Let's bring out their cell phones. Let's go live a week with each of the 4 and do kind of a little different take. I just think, and especially when it comes to the Bachelorette, because I think you're dealing with like a guy like Brandon. Brandon looks very young. He doesn't look like he is ready to get engaged tomorrow, to me. He may, and don't get me wrong, Brandon seems like he's being honest. It seems like he's going, it seems like Brandon is totally in love, and it seems as though might be an assumption because of his age. This is the first time he's actually ever had the experience of enjoying someone's company in a way that's not meeting someone out and on a dating app or at college or whatever it is. This is the first serious conversations he's had with a woman, maybe. It seems like that, the way he's acting. So why not put Brandon in situations where he has to see what a serious relationship is like? Send the couple to IKEA, make them put together a bed frame. Do something where we can see these guys kind of show like, hey, I am ready for a relationship. I am down for these nights on the couch that come with a relationship? Or are they going to sit there on the couch and be like, well, what else do we talk about? Like, I would rather see games and dates associated with real life, because I know on The Bachelor that the women on The Bachelor are down when they get to these numbers for the quiet nights, the staying in. I don't know about these guys. I don't know. Are they down for like a relationship life that includes an engagement? I don't know. That's why I want them to move on, especially in this episode when we are separated. The real contenders from the fake ones, and not fake, but just the ones that don't have a chance. Why not let's go into total relationship mode and see how they actually act in a relationship? I think that would be fun. I think they don't take chances. They stick to the model. And that's where we're at with a ho hum episode. Let's go to some categories. Now, the first one is the say less category. Martin, I don't know what you're doing. I honestly, the minute Martin comes on and puts his foot in his mouth every time he speaks, Martin claims that women in Miami are high maintenance. And Michelle asks a pretty simple question. She goes, what does high maintenance mean? And then he goes into this explanation that you're like, Martin, you're not going to give a dissertation on the difference between men and women. You're not going to give a college thesis. You should stick to talking about jewels that you wear on a daily basis and, different barbers you go to for different, lines you can put in your head. Because I don't think this is going to be your strength. I don't think and it's funny when you watch Martin try to explain this weird, like, difference between, the Miami women versus you. And it's like, dude, what are you even talking about? And it shows you what the narrative is when you're in a town and people just say things that they have no idea what they're saying and never put thought into it. And they kind of think they sound smart. And it's like, you don't. You don't. Martin, you don't think it has anything. You think the women in Miami are high maintenance? You wore 6 different rings to go on this date. Who's high maintenance then? Let's go to the next one. Easy audience. Michelle brings on her friends from growing up, and these 2 women that come on the show, they go on the boat and they meet Nate, and they're like, we're going to ask Nate some questions. And then they're like, you guys are so cute together. Oh my God. In 2 seconds, they didn't ask one question. They were like, so are you ready for a And it's like, you could tell it's so funny. Like the friends come on and like, just him being there is like, oh, he really looks like what's he supposed to look like? Of course he's gonna look like they're a couple. Of course he's gonna be nice. Of course he's gonna. It's like you didn't ask one single question that really could really get him to open up. Hey, talk about your friends. Who do you hang out with? We didn't see any of these. They just literally were like, we're gonna ask a lot of questions, and the friends were like, he really seems great. Let's go to the next one. We get it. Rodney, we get it. You were never the tallest, never the best looking, never the best, the strongest farter. You never took the biggest dumps. You never, it's enough. We've heard your storyline. I don't know if it's starting to get to the point where Rodney's repeated this. I'm never the biggest, never the strongest, never the best looking, never gonna. And it's like, we're at the point where it's like, are you just like, is this your game to become the Bachelor? Is it that you are trying to be, the everyman audience member? And listen, I like Rodney, but it's like you did this story. We've heard it already. He walked on and Michelle brings him to the roof and they look at a building and he's like, oh my God, I've never seen. It's like, Rodney, there's got to be a point where you're not like that. Like where's the point where you're like, yeah, that's a building. Like, where's your cynicism? Where's your, I don't know. It's just, we get it. We get it. You're 5 foot nothing, 100 and nothing, and not an ounce of athletic ability. You're Rudy. You're Rudy. I'm going to start calling Rodney Rudy because no one believes in him. It's like you're on the show. You have the abs. You're here. You're in the top 10. Let's give out some awards. The Batchies is where I give out roses to my favorites and divorce papers to my least favorites. That's right. Let's start with the roses. First rose is going to go to Michelle's dresses. Michelle's dresses the whole season have been unbelievable, but it's almost now we're at a point where I'm looking for what's coming out next. This is like a legit runway fashion scenario. She looks amazing, but every dress seems to outpace the last. It is a showstopper. It is wild that every time she walks in a room, you kind of want to go, what's going to hit us? And the dresses have become a character on the show, and it's pretty unbelievable. The next one is going to go to Lakes. Nothing better than a lake. That lake date looked like a great opportunity to meet friends. They had like the pontoon boat. I just love a lake. And you forget about lakes in the grand scheme of things. We like oceans or pools, and then someone's like, let's go to a lake. And you go, I don't know. I don't want to. Are we camping out? What are we doing? And then you get to a lake and you go, oh, I like lake living. Lake living is beautiful, fun, easy. You know, you're not fighting traffic to get to a lake. A lake is generally a fun time. And we forget about it. It gets lost in the shuffle of summertime events. And tonight, the lake, lake had its moment. Last rose is going to go to Vikings. I loved the Vikings that came on the show. They were so cuddly. I can't imagine that their whole lives they have to look like that just so they can play that part. So those men have to like dress as Vikings in their everyday life. That was their beards. That was their bodies. Like the fact that these men are Vikings 365 days a year just to be Vikings as mascots for the Vikings. And then they played the part. I liked that they spoke the language. I was into the Vikings. I wanted to give them a hug. Let's go to the divorce papers. First divorce paper, Chris S. Chris S., you were annoying. You were annoying. You did the thing that is the most annoying thing a guy can really do is because I did this, I should get this. You thought you deserved, and you really deserved to be sent home. The idea that because you were reporting information to Michelle that makes you sexually attractive to her is a misunderstanding of how this all works. I understand you're on a game, you're trying to compete against these other men, but you can't compete with desire and sexual connection and a relationship budding. The idea that you're saying, well, I have one piece of information on Nate, that is debatable because Nate even explains it in the episode. He's like, no, I said, Nate explains it exactly how it went down. He goes, no, I feel confident that I'll be seeing Michelle again. That's just how I feel. And he turns it into, you've got it in the bag. It's like, dude, your story was weak. You're weak. You acted miserable throughout the whole Viking date. Then you thought you should have deserved some sort of time with her because you had this transactional thing where you gave her information. And it's like, anytime you are trying to get to know someone and there's a transaction proposed, you are wrong. It's, oh, we went on the date and I bought the drink, so so you get the next drink. That is just not how dating works. And you're on a dating show. The next one's going to go to Martin's Tux. I appreciate that Martin takes chances in the fashion world. I appreciate that Martin is a different look than me. The tux was a miss. It didn't fit around his neck, and it looked like he was wearing a tux that he was given because he forgot to wear a black tie to a black tie event. And they were like, here, you can put this collar on and it will fit loosely around you. It just didn't work. And from a guy, and that's the thing, when you take fashion chances, sometimes you take fashion misses, and this was a miss for Martin. The last divorce paper is going to go to the announcer at the baseball game. The announcer inserts himself into their relationship in such a way that it's like, dude, should you be giving away kisses as the announcer? Joe and Michelle throw out an opening pitch at a baseball game, at a Twins game, and the announcer's like, and if it's a strike, he gets a kiss. It's like, dude, can I have a choice in this matter? Am I allowed to choose? Is the announcer just in charge of this show at this point? What's next? And if he throws a strike, these two lovebirds are going to French kiss all over the field and roll around and start making love. Get ready, crowd. It's like announcer. A little much. That's our episode. We'll be back next week. Boom.